What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today, ETH, USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 15th day of October. Here we are right now sitting at about a $4,000 price. 6 hours, 8 minutes left in the day. Things have taken a bit of a turn, and I wanted to make a video in lieu of that turn. Right, we were expecting here yesterday. We were literally making this video at this exact same price area yesterday, expecting to move higher and see higher highs and all that stuff. But we actually got stopped short. There was no follow through volume coming through on this move up, and we have since moved down. The volume that followed through with that was to the downside, so it does make me believe that we have lower to go. It's very possible that we do find support here. We'll look at the indicators and all that stuff, but at the moment I am kind of considering that we do see lower targets. Now, does this mean that we go lower than these lows? I don't think so, but something lower than this low is very, very possible. However, right here, we might find some support. If we're looking at these liquidation levels for Bitcoin over the past 24 hours, things are definitely short side heavy, right? We're definitely heavy on the shorts versus the longs. Ethereum, same thing, right? $2.3 billion in shorts, 700 million in longs. It's still a lot of longs in a 24-hour period for Ethereum, but it's a lot more shorts. A lot of these longs, the final island here gets cleared out once we get below about $3,900. So it is possible that we come down, we clear those longs out, something right there just below these lows. Wouldn't that be poetry? As soon as we take these lows out, as soon as we get below there, boom, that's it. that's whenever we move up. That would just be hilarious, man. Oh my God. Hilarious to the people who are not leverage trading or who do not have stop losses right there. Prior resistance points right here, find support there. It makes so much sense. So much sense that 3850, 3900, somewhere in that zone might be where we go. I know it's kind of hard to imagine because right now on the 1 hour, we have this positive look. There's a good bit of volume. It's very possible that this is the low. But if we're looking here from a low to a high, I don't know. It is possible. I can't help but think that we are going to go a little bit lower, guys. That's my assumption at the moment. Looking at the indicators, the RSI, we are at the same area that we found support before. However, we are showing weakness, getting oversold twice without getting overbought once, right? Oversold, rejected the overbought zone, immediately oversold. This might express that we have more to go. Stochastics look bearish and the MACD looks bearish as well. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, this RSI here seems a bit sickly, a bit sad. You found support at the 40 and it didn't give you anything but a lower high, a rejection from prior support here, and now you're back down at the 40. Are you going to find support here, or are you going to move down? The current candle has 2 hours and 6 minutes left. I know the 1 hour time frame looks like it's going to close like this, but the 4-hour time frame still has half of its time left, so we'll see how this ends up closing. If we close here or lower, the MACD is actually rejecting the zero, and we are getting our cross to the bearish side, building bearish momentum. So closing here or lower in the next 2 hours would be very validating to the idea that we do have lower to go. Stochastics are also bearish at the current readings. So my thoughts would be we do see a lower low. I think we nailed it right on the head with 3850 to 3900, somewhere in that zone. If we go lower, if Ethereum does see lower lows than something that's just below this low here, that's fine. Do it. Go lower. Go all the way to 3600. Who cares? It might be intense for a moment. The rest of the altcoin market might bleed as well, but I think everything will be fine. We'll come out of that happy as clams, singing kumbaya, the sun will shine, everything's going to be fine. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think we'll go to 37, 36, 3500, anything like that. I personally do expect 3850 to hold somewhere between there and 3900 is what I'm looking for. Okay, 2 hours, 4 minutes left in this 4-hour candle. Let's see how it goes. Let's see where we close by the end of it. Closing here or higher, really closing higher and then moving up in the next candle could promote some growth. And again, I guess on that note, I can consider myself invalidated if we see a 4-hour candle close above 41.26. So here we are about $150 away from that price. If we close at 41.26 or higher on a 4-hour candle or daily time frame, I would say that I'm wrong. Okay, but we have to close there. We can't wick there. We have to close there. And if I'm wrong, what does that mean? That means we're going higher. We'll probably see 44, 4600, something in that zone soon enough, you guys. That'd be my expectation at least. Looking at the daily time frame here, RSI rejecting the 50. Definitely conducive to the idea that we go lower, right? Perhaps what we do is we find another higher low here while giving a lower low on the daily time frame. That would imply that we do go below 3,800. It's possible. I don't know if I'm calling for that right now, but I'm just saying even if we do, there's bullish prospects to that if we maintain bullish divergence. The stochastics are rejecting the 50, so coming down, and the MACD here is building some bearish momentum as well. Also with the potential to form some bullish divergence. But all of these indicators do suggest that we have lower to go. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened. That's the expectation at the moment. I really am looking for support probably right here in this area. I mean, look at that. Just below yesterday's lows right there, but also coming in direct line, direct support with this prior area here and direct resistance there. So it just makes sense. 3850, 3900, somewhere in there. That's where I think we're going to go. And then after we find support there, we should be moving up because the weekly time frame looks really good. The RSI is actually very powerful. We're cooled off. We look ready to go. We've cooled off a whole lot. We went from an 80 read on the weekly RSI all the way down now to a 53, and we haven't really gone anywhere. Right? We're just in the same area that we've been at. So that's actually really nice to see. The stochastics are at the 50, which is a perfect area to bounce, especially if we move down a little bit. We close here at the week. I think this would look positive. And while the week is crossing red right here, and that's not really awesome for the MACD, sometimes we get false crosses, right? Like here, you cross green. That was actually a signal that we're about to come down. Maybe this will be a false cross as well. And then next week, we'll really kick this thing back to the upside. But time will tell. Looking at the overall low to the high here, we did bounce right off the 236, showing proper structure there, I think. Looking at this high here to a low all the way over here, flipping it a little from low to high to low. The next target area that we should expect is something of about a $5,500 to $8,000 price when we do resume moving higher. Okay. Ultimately, I expect we will see $8,000 sometime in November. We should be pressing higher prices than that going into the end of the year. I think we'll be pushing 10K, 11K, maybe even 12K going into the end of 2025. As time progresses, as we go into 2026, Q1, Q2, I'm sure there will be some consolidation. I think we will continue to pump and rally into January. We'll probably consolidate between the middle or end of January and like the end of February, and then have our cycle ending finale going into Q2, March, April, May is kind of my expectation. So either the very end of Q1 or sometime in Q2. And we take last bull market's high to the bear market low, and we can gather that if I expect an $8,000 price in November, a $10,000 price by the end of the year, we could gather then that by April, May, maybe March, we should be at the next level, which would be 14,000, or maybe even a level past that, which would be 22 to 27,000, right? Something between 14 and 27,000 is the likely outcome for Ethereum by the end of the cycle. I'm personally in favor of this 22K price. 14K is a good minimum, okay? For anybody hearing this, you think 14K sounds ridiculous. Let me take it a step further, make it even more ridiculous. 14K is the minimum. It's not that I expect us to hit 14K and that's the cycle high. That's it. That's just the beginning of the range that I think we'll be in. Okay, so if 14K is hard for you to wrap your head around, I don't know what to tell you, man. I very much think Ethereum will hit that and beyond as the cycle continues, and in which case I think the cycle ends sometime again in Q2 of 2026. I don't have anything else to say. We've covered basically everything. Short term, little wonky. Midterm, we should be doing good, right? Overall, really, again, looking at this weekly time frame, you guys, I think this should paint a perfect picture. People are comparing this to the COVID crash. What drama queens, man, right? You guys remember the COVID crash, right? You remember? I remember. Right here? Yeah. I remember that. Yep. Let's see here. They are literally comparing this week to that. People are dramatic right now, man. And the thing is, that's great. It's typical that whenever we're in a bull market, people actually think that the bear market has begun or that the bull market's going to die. That's how you know you're still in a bull market. When everybody's seeing signs of weakness and we're saying, we're going to come back from that though, the bull market's still alive and well, that's when you should be scared. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody, right? The OGs in the space, all the crypto OGs, they're all bullish. But the majority of market participants right now are shaken. They're fearful, right? We're in levels of fear right now on our fear and greed index. But just because the OGs are all bullish doesn't mean that everybody's bullish, right? The OGs are all bullish because they've been here before. They know what's going on, right? They've seen this happen. And again, looking at it, what a healthy weekly chart we have. In the face of danger, you're still in this zone, consolidating right at prior areas of resistance here, holding up very well, I might add, holding up very, very well. Your weekly indicators have all cooled off, right? Your weekly RSI cooled off. Your stochastics have cooled off. Your MACD has even cooled off. And you're actually at a point where you might expect to bounce. You know, like right here, you basically touched whenever you're moving up. This cycle, you had a false cross. It put you off for a couple weeks, but then you started to rally, right? Maybe we are put off for a couple weeks. Maybe we do consolidate here in this range for a couple more weeks. But soon enough, and going into the end of the month of October, certainly at some point in November, I would very much believe that we see an $8,000 price and beyond going into the rest of this year, right? This is just a stopping point on what is a move that has more legs to go. That's all I'm trying to say, right? We consolidated just like this. I wonder, actually, I'm kind of curious. Let's see. From a high to a low, that was 26%. What about here from a high to a low? It's 21%. This is more comparable to the drop that we saw on June 16th than it is to COVID. Anybody remember what happened on June 16th? The only reason why people are crying here is because they got liquidated. It's not that big of a deal. And again, the charts look very positive. The indicators are all cooled off. Things are looking good. I got nothing else. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end the video there. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.